Today we're talking my favorite brushes, sort of a brush starter kit for someone who's just gotten into makeup. I have no makeup brushes. What can I buy? What's going to be my best bang, what's going to be the best bang for my buck when it comes to multitask, like using the same brush for like multiple things. So I wanted to pull together for you this video because it's been so highly requested, especially recently over the past few months. Sorry, I just got my hair dyed and it's really flat, so it's like I don't know what to do with myself. But anyway, so I wanted to pull together a sort of brushes, tools, kit thing that I guess you could call it a kit that I think would be really useful, and then I think everyone should have in their collection. And it's not 1,000,001 brushes. It's only 5 brushes for the face and 5 brushes for the eyes. And then I have 2 additional tools that I think would be really helpful. Really, you could do with just 4 brushes for the face and 4 brushes for the eyes, but I'm making it 4 just because. We're going to go into it. I apologize if some of my brushes are dirty. I just put them to use when I recorded a couple of videos, so I'm sorry about that. Am I in focus? Yeah, I'm in focus. Okay, so let's start with the face. Now, what you're going to need for the face, now I'm someone that prefers to apply her foundation using a brush. My personal preference, you can use your fingers, you can use any other brush you prefer. I like a really good buffing brush, and my favorite is the Real Techniques buffing brush. Now this for me is this is such a valuable brush to me because 1, I use it with my liquid foundation. 2, I can use it with powder foundation. It really buffs in the powder really well, gives you an amazing coverage. 3, I can use this for blush. I can use it for a bronzer. I could use it for a cream bronzer and blush, which is very important. So with this one brush, you can use it multiple times, giving you the ability to have, if you only want to take 1 or 2 brushes with you if you're traveling and you only have a small sort of brush kit, this and like 1 more brush and you'll be perfectly fine to cover the rest of the face. So I love this brush. I think a good buffing brush is key. To me, it's crucial to have in my makeup routine, in my makeup drawer anyway, my makeup kit, I guess. And when this one in particular is dirty, I miss it because I love this brush. So this is my first one. I also want to mention that I'm sharing with you some of just my favorite brushes, and they're from different lines. Like this one's Real Techniques, my blush brush is from somewhere else, yada yada. I'm not saying you have to go out and get all different brushes. I'm just telling you that these are the kinds of brushes you should get when you're getting your makeup kit. However, this Real Techniques buffing brush is amazing, and if all you want to purchase are Real Techniques brushes, I would totally support that, especially this line, the first line they came out with. They're just some of my favorites. Then you're going to need a sort of powder brush. I think it's really important to have a powder brush because I like to set my foundation always. So something like this, it's really sort of soft. It's big, but it's not too big. It's not dense. It definitely has enough sort of density to it to apply a good amount of powder, but it's not dense enough to not be able to kind of, I think when a brush is too dense, you can't really move the product without disturbing the foundation underneath. This one in particular is from Sephora, and it's the number 40 brush, and I absolutely love it. But any brush that's kind of like this, really light, that you can sort of sweep and doesn't disturb the foundation underneath is crucial. And this for me can be used for all over bronzing, all over powder. You can even use this for your cheekbones to apply your blush if you wanted to. You could apply your body bronzer if you wanted to on your neck. I just think this is a fantastic brush, and everyone should have a brush this size in their collection. Up next, you are going to need a blush brush. Now this would be a good brush. You can apply your blush with this if you wanted to. I think it's just a little bit on the big side, but that's personal preference. You can use something smaller like I like to do, and this one, for example, is the Sigma F10. It's a fabulous blush brush. It just applies the perfect amount. It blends it out really beautifully, and like this one, it's not dense enough that it disturbs the foundation underneath, but it's not flimsy enough that it doesn't blend the product beautifully. So this is a great blush brush that you can also use as a highlighter. So I definitely recommend that. I think it's a great brush to use. Then I have a concealer brush. You don't have to use a concealer brush. You can totally, absolutely use this to buff in your concealer. But if you're like me and you have dark circles sort of right in here, it can be a bit tricky to blend it out completely using a bigger brush to get right in the inner corner. So I like a smaller brush, and this is my favorite. This is from e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's like $3 at Target, and it's called the Flawless Concealer Brush. I love this for buffing out my concealer. It's just perfect. I feel like it blends it out beautifully, seamlessly, and very, very quickly. So I love this. I think this is a fantastic brush that everyone should have. Now, those are my 4 like must haves. However, I also think a brush like this is absolutely key for me in my makeup routine, because to me, a brush this size, I like to use it for setting my under eyes. It's also small enough to contour with. It's also a really just lovely brush to highlight the face with. It's small enough to apply the highlight. It's exactly where you want it, and this is, by the way, is the tapered highlighter F35 from Sigma. You can buy these brushes individually. You don't have to buy them in a kit, which is great. I love this for sweeping above the cheekbone, in the center of the nose, sort of upper lip area, but it's also tapered, so it's great for underneath the cheekbones. It's just a really phenomenal brush, and you can find so many uses for this brush. I think it's also an absolute must. Okay, now we have eye brushes. Okay, and I have 5 to share with you. I have the basic must-have eyeshadow. Like, this is my eye shading brush. It's the E55 from Sigma. Again, you don't have to buy these particular brushes. I'm just telling you that these are the ones I reach for often. But this is great for packing on your eyelid color. A brush like this, to me, is really important. It's not too big. If it's too big, you kind of get all over in the crease, which if you're just applying eyeshadow to your eyelids, you want something that's small, that you can control easily, and it applies the color really in a really beautiful way, and not patchy and yada yada. This is really wonderful. A small brush like this is absolute key, and so many different brands make brushes like this. You don't have to buy a specific one, but this is the one I reach for the most because it seems to be the perfect size for me. Then what you need, or what I need anyway, is a kind of blending brush, but not a super fluffy one. This is, for example, is the E25. It's kind of, you see, it's kind of tapered a little bit at the top, but it's flat on the sides, kind of pinched at the base. This is really great if you're applying color in the crease in a more concentrated way. I really love this for that particular reason. I love that I can really sort of carve out my crease using this brush because it's sort of skinny enough to really get in there and apply the color really, like, in a really beautiful way without blending it out completely. So I love this. And I also love this because for really quick looks, I just sort of throw everything on and I'm out the door. It's just like really easy for me. I don't have to really think about it much. I really love this brush in general. Then you must have, or at least I must have anyway, a blending brush, just a really fluffy, lovely blending brush that you can blend everything with. And this is a Sigma Taper Blending E35. Again, so many different brands make them. Like, this is similar. It's from, it's a bit more tapered at the top. And this is the crease shadow brush from Sephora. But any blending brush like this is really nice because you need a brush to blend out any sharp lines. You want everything to always, unless you're going for a cut crease look, everything should always be blended really nicely. And a brush like this that's really sort of fluffy, it's dense yet flexible, is key, and you need that. At least I do anyway. Then I have a pencil brush. Now, a pencil brush is to me is important if I want to have a really sharp cut crease. I like to use a pencil brush, but it's also really great for smoking out the lower lash line. So to me, a pencil brush is absolutely a must-have in my kit. And this is the Outer V brush from Makeup Geek, but so many different brands make these. It doesn't matter. So I love this brush. And the last brush I want to share with you is an angle brush. Now, the reason why I think an angle brush should be in everybody's kit is because you can use an angle brush for so many different things. I use it today to apply my eyeshadow as my wing liner. I wanted to do sort of a smoky eyeliner look, so I used black shadow instead, but I used my angle brush just like I would use it with gel liner. I just used it with some, I can't think of the word, some eyeshadow, and I also applied it on the lower lash line. It's really, really easy, but it's also really great because if you have sparse brows and you fill in your eyebrows, you can do it with this particular pencil. Like a small angle brush like this could come in handy for that as well. Sorry. A small one like this could come in handy to fill in your brows as well. So if you have sparse brows and you use eyeshadow to fill them in, you have one brush that can do it all. So I love this. And those are my must-have brushes. My sort of, if everything failed and I only had these, I would be perfectly fine. I could work with them really well and that would be solid. I'd be happy. Everything would be well. Now I want to share with you two more things that I think you should have in your makeup kit or your brush kit. One of them is a pair of tweezers. Now I'm going to save you the money and the frustration and the pain. You know, I, for the longest time, used to go to the drugstore and really buy the cheapest pair of tweezers I could get my hands on because I thought, whatever, it's just tweezers. I don't want to invest a lot of money in tweezers. But really, they break so easily and they really hurt when you're trying to pluck your eyebrows because they're cheap. They don't really grab onto each hair, so you're pulling and it's just getting tugged and you're doing it over and over again and it's just painful. So invest in a good pair of tweezers. These are from Tweezerman and these are my favorite. They're sort of angle cut. I don't know if you can see that. I love these. These are around $20, but they are worth every single penny. I've had these for a really long time and I've had these ones for a long time. These are from Tweezerman as well, the pink one. I've had these for about 4 years. I just recently, these also still work really, really well for my eyebrows, but I've stopped using these on my eyebrows and I just dedicated these to my false lashes. When I apply my false lashes, I use these. So these are dedicated to my false lashes, and I picked up a brand new pair to dedicate to my regular eyebrows. But I think everyone should have a pair of tweezers in their makeup kit, because if you're not plucking your eyebrows in like a really major way like I do, sort of to shape them, and you just want to pluck a few here, a few there, a few here, wherever you have a few sort of loose eyebrows growing, you want to pluck them, use a good tweezer. That way it's like pluck it, it's gone, one time, it's done, instead of having to go over it over and over again, and it's painful and it leaves an ugly red mark because you've been tugging on it for the past 10 minutes. So do yourself a favor, get a good pair of tweezers. I even bought Joe a really good pair of Tweezerman tweezers because he'll use them for whatever, and it said that he like completely changed, it said it changed my beauty life. And it's like, a bit weird, but okay. It changed his beauty life, but he really likes them as well because they don't hurt, because they don't tug over and over. And then you need a small pair of scissors. Now, to be honest, I don't know where these are from, but these are so old and I love them. They're the perfect little shear. I use them to trim my eyebrows up here. If I ever have to trim them, I trim my eyelashes with them. It's just really handy to have, you know, they're really handy to have, and I use them for multiple different things. Every time I do my makeup, for one reason or another, I'm using this, whether it's to cut something up, trim my eyebrows, whatever. They always come in handy, so I definitely think you should have these two in your makeup, in your brush kit as well. So those are my favorite brushes, sort of my must-haves, my, you know, if I had to put a kit together, these would do wonders, and I love them. These are the kind of brushes I can use for multiple things. I can use them over and over again. So I hope that this has given you sort of a guidance as to where to start. And like I mentioned, you don't have to use these particular brushes. I'm just telling you the kind of brush, not necessarily the brand, although this brush is awesome. But what I will do is I will list below the brushes I particularly mentioned. That way, if you want to pick up either one, any one of these brushes that I specifically mentioned, that you have a place to refer to, which is the description down below. So having said that, I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you, if you are new at makeup, I hope that this kind of give you a direction to, towards where to go in terms of setting up your own little kit. I stand behind every single one of these brushes. I love them, and they've served me well for a really long time. So I feel confident in sharing that with you. Let me know if you found this video helpful and what you would like to see next. And if you have any questions for me, leave them down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!